Hey, it's E3 2016. We're talking about Microsoft's press conference. Immediately, the first thing I noticed was that Microsoft has better speakers.
Oh yeah.
They know what they're doing. The whole conference was pretty incredible. And then that kind of carried on to they were talking a lot about their live network play.
hmm
And I thought that that was pretty interesting and was made me a little bit jealous. They were talking, first off, they talked about some improvements like adding background music, letting you have that. But really cool things like looking for a group. So you can say, like, say we're playing Overwatch and we want 5 people who aren't dicks and are actually want to play this as a team. That would be a
Sure.
great thing to put out there. Um,
Although
mm-hmm.
I would say that PlayStation even has these features. Are I mean the clubs obviously
Right.
that are the if we're comparing this to PS4, those are the communities, and within the communities and with the event system that just recently came out for PS4, that is a looking for group system
True,
because you
true.
can post events in these communities and you can kind of vet people and see who you want to join your stuff and
Oh, okay.
they don't kind of label it as a straight up looking for group system, but that's exactly what it is. And background music, I was like, that's cool. That's cool. Background, that's a very basic feature. Better late than
Mm-hmm.
never. But I think they're definitely as far as like PSN Network compared to Xbox Live. Xbox Live is the premium service. Make no mistake. It's I'm on PS4 this generation, but I've also had my Xbox Live membership literally since the day Xbox Live came out for the first Xbox. So my tenure there is long, and it's because it is the best and usually most secure way to play online. And Sony has some catching up to do in that regard, but the new features coming to Xbox Live, some of them were quite basic, but I do think um, I do think that the way that they're starting to integrate everything, um, the way that they're integrating Windows 10 and Xbox One, and they're unifying Xbox Live across all of their platforms, and they're showing some of their demos how in the game development they're really focusing hard on making it so easy for your friends to join in just
Mm-hmm.
seamlessly and instantly to your gameplay experiences and to play together faster than ever and more easily than ever. That I think is going to be a huge edge for them, way more than any bells and whistles and OS features. Because right now on PS4, it's not super easy to
No,
hop in and out of groups and hop in and out of parties and
absolutely.
accept invites. So that's something they definitely have going for them.
Yeah, it's a real slow process. If I want to get into a chat with you, something that I do pretty often, there's no shortcut available for it. It's so slow, and a lot of it is it's hardly ever integrated with the actual game itself, which is really slow. And I don't want to have to go out and go to like notifications or invitations and find it. And I find that a lot of the invitations are sort of like mislabeled as to when they were sent, or it's the timing is off on it. It's clunky. It works. It's better than what it was on PS3, but Microsoft does have the edge in there. One of the other little features they added was the tournaments, which I thought was a pretty interesting idea
Yeah.
you can do with a online community. You know, getting to this Microsoft having a cross-platform of Windows 10 and Xbox, I think this is a terrible idea.
Really.
Yeah, and for two reasons. Number one, having cross-platform between the Vita and a PS4 is a great idea because I play those at different times in different circumstances. I can be out and about playing Shovel Knight. I can come home and upload the progress. The difference between playing a PC and an Xbox, I don't think is all that different. It's not like the Xbox is a very mobile thing. It's not like, especially the one they have now. The Xbox One is massive. So perhaps, I mean, maybe if you wanted to, someone was using a TV that your Xbox was on and you had a computer in the other room. Also, most games that come out on a PC are going to look a lot better. So, but the main reason I think it's a terrible idea is that you are encouraging PC owners to buy a PS4. If I was a PC owner and I wanted to also play console games, and I was looking, all right, if I want to play Uncharted, I have to buy PS4. If I want to play The Last of Us 2 or whatever the hell that comes out, Bloodborne, I have to buy that. But if I want to play Gears of War, well, I don't have to buy an Xbox, do I? Because they're going to put it on Windows. So if you have a Windows 10 PC, you can now play games that are exclusive for PC. You can play a lot of exclusive Xbox games, their biggest and best, and then you would buy the PS4 and you can play the rest of them, or like get a Nintendo. They're like devaluing their own console by giving away exclusives. It just, to me, it makes no sense at all. And if I was a PC owner and it would push me to buy either a PlayStation or a Nintendo and say, why do I need to buy this Xbox?
I
Makes no
can
sense.
I can see it. I can see it both ways. I definitely see that angle, and that does make sense. On the other hand, if I were to play devil's advocate, I would also submit that companies like Microsoft and Sony don't make the majority of their money from hardware sales. They get an Xbox or a PlayStation in your home
That's true.
so that over the next 5 years, after you spent that initial $300 or $400 for the console, over the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, you're going to spend potentially thousands of dollars on software and a service like Xbox Live or PSN Plus or PlayStation Plus. So Microsoft is looking at this like, gamers generally are gaming on multiple platforms. PC gamers generally have consoles as well. And PC gaming versus console gaming, they both have their pros and cons. And they're looking at their total market and saying, there are a lot of people out there interested in our games on Windows 10 platforms, like really high end PCs, and a lot of people still playing on Xbox Ones. If we can market our games to all of those people at the same time,
Right.
that's going to make us a lot more money in the long run. And from a gamer's perspective, it's so convenient with this. I forget what they're calling it. Play anywhere is the kind of how they titled the initiative. It's just it sounds really really attractive on paper that you buy a game one time and then you have it on your PC and you have it on your Xbox. The saves and the progress and the trophies are completely seamless, carrying over from one to the other. You can pick up and play from one to the other. It's just it's really convenient for people who just game around like most of us typically do. Especially if it's game if like Ori and the Blind Forest, you don't have to have a super high end PC. That's a game that I would really enjoy having on my Xbox and my like I have a gaming PC, but it's not top of the line. But games like that, and even games like Forza, where I could if I just couldn't get to my console and I could play Forza, the new Forza 6 on my
Couldn't get to
gaming
your
PC.
console. I just couldn't be bothered walking down
If
the
there was a
hall.
fire or um I don't know, it's just like it's nice. It's not
Sure.
necessary, no, not at all. It's just nice, it's attractive, and I think that it's going to make Microsoft a lot more money in the long run. Are they cannibalizing their hardware sales by doing this? Potentially, but we have no idea yet. We don't know, but I do know that at the end of their conference after they announced the Project Scorpio, if anything's
Right.
going to cannibalize hardware sales, that's
Oh my
Scorpio because
God. Let's talk about that.
nobody's going to want to buy this Xbox One S, which looks really cool
Yeah.
aesthetically. It was a very sexy console, so small. The new controller looks really cool.
Hmm.
But who's going to buy that this holiday season, even at $300, when you can wait 8 or 9 months and get this beastly next generation
Oh my
like
God.
high end PC tier console? I mean, it sounds incredible. So that's going to be really interesting seeing how people balance that and their high end PC gaming.
No, you're absolutely right. And they were talking a lot about how, we wanted to make this thing it's easier for devs. And I'm sure that they themselves were getting sick of seeing this game runs at a lower resolution on Xbox One compared to the PS4. So they're like, fine, here you go. Now it's really easy to develop for. However, if you want these games to still work on the original Xbox, now it's going to be even harder for developers to make this work because now they have to make 4 different SKUs just to get it on consoles. This is, it seems like a really great and fun, sexy idea. And if you haven't bought a console already, well, you're in luck because now is the, well, pretty soon is going to be the time to jump in on it. But for the people like us, I'm just feeling like in a year or so, it's going to get messy, man. And I think we're going to hear some devs speaking out on it. It's the development cycle for this stuff is going to take some time, but how they want to implement it, I'm assuming it's going to be like with PC, where you're just going to
Yeah.
have the 2 different visual settings modes, but
Mm-hmm.
you're just opening up such a can of worms, and I really don't like it now that I already have one. So, yeah, but you're absolutely right. Like, that's nice that you made the Xbox One slim, but why bother now? I mean, it's going to be what, an extra $100 or $150.
I am the case study example because when the conference kicked off in the very beginning and they showed the Xbox One S,
Yeah, it
I
looked great.
thought, man, that looks really, really great. The new controller looks really cool. It's almost, even though it's smaller, they up to a 2 terabyte hard drive. That's
Yeah,
awesome. They have that. IR blaster. The new controller has an increased range and Bluetooth capability. That's really, I might buy one of those controllers just to use with my PC because it has
Sure.
Bluetooth. I thought, for $300, I might put a little money aside and maybe this could be a cool Christmas present. Why not have an Xbox One and enjoy some of these exclusives? But then by the end of the conference, I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just save that $300 and put it towards Project Scorpio whenever that finally materializes.
I
So,
I thought they were saying that it was this holiday.
yeah, this holiday season for the One S.
That is,
And Project Scorpio will be next holiday 2017.
oh, right. Okay. 2017. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
What else happened there? State of Decay 2. That's a sequel.
Gears of
Halo.
War 4 had a pretty impressive gameplay demo.
Yeah, it did. We saw a lot more of this stormy, dark sky. It'll be interesting to see Gears of War come back. I mean, it's a classic franchise for them, so we
Mhm.
saw the most interesting story around Gears of War I saw this year was the original developers of the game and how they had sold it off because they said, but if they ever even thought of making like a Gears of War 4, how expensive it would be and how much they'd have to sell just to break even.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can see it. I mean, the game looks like it costs a lot of money. Looks like a lot of fun. I mean, Gears of War is a classic. It's good to have that.
I was wondering if that was running on an Xbox One because it looked really, really, really good. And there was a lot going on screen. I thought, is this because they were holding Xbox One controllers, but my money is that was running on
A PC.
Windows 10. That was running on a
Yeah.
beefed up PC. It just looked a little too good, but impressive demo nonetheless. It was fun.
What did we see here? The Sea of Thieves.
Oh my god, that I wish they would have done something different for that gameplay. It was like a giant, long, loud reaction video full of screaming. I hated it. I hated every second of that video.
It's funny. I'm with you. I hate that style, but I like that they did that because it felt more like game coverage. And even though it's totally the opposite, I'm right with you. I can't stand people pretending to have fun
Right.
or even having fun. It was like, all right, at least you're showing gameplay and what's happening, and I liked it, even though I hated it. I just thought it was nice to see. The game looks pretty fun. Watching that, I was like, oh my god, I want to have this, but in a spaceship, and I want Star Trek, and that's what we got
Yeah.
later on. So that could be pretty fun as long as you don't have to play with the people that were in the video.
I'm looking forward to the game. And it's like I wish they just would have had I wish they would have had nerdy, unpersonable, like awkward. I would have rather devs come out and just play the game together and just show you because it made me want to go out like they had to work together to like even do stuff like lower the sails
Yeah.
and start sailing, and then once they got into combat and started sinking, you had to get somebody down there to repair the holes and patch up all the cannonball holes and stuff like that. And I really liked the cooperative aspect of it, and it looked very sandboxy. Like just go out there and explore these worlds and plunder and find booty and protect it and keep it and have these kind of these sea battles, and
Yeah.
it looked really fun. It's something I want to get my hands on. I just wish they would have done literally anything else, but that's just me.
There's a much smaller version of that called Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime where
Yeah.
it's like a co-op, couch co-op style where you're controlling a nice colorful ship through a psychedelically colored universe and choosing, because you can only control two things at one time: engines, shields, guns, or other. So then they showed what is that card game in The Witcher called?
Gwent.
Gwent. And then the Geralt in that video looked terrifying in the
Yeah, that was
worst
pretty scary.
way. I don't know what the hell that was. That was
Did you see? Did you, when they were covering all those indies? Did you see the that short gameplay snippet and video from We Happy Few?
Yeah.
That was really creepy and wonderful. I thought that was
We
very
Happy
interesting.
Few. Very, very Bioshock again
Yeah.
in the best kind of way. That game looks intense and
Mhm.
fantastic. I would love to play that game. What was going on with
Is that an Xbox exclusive? Yeah, I guess because that was part of
It
the ID
is.
at Xbox program.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be on PC as well.
Yep, Windows. Yeah, like
Well,
that was
anywhere.
like the theme. It was like exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10. That was every single game. That was their mantra.
Yeah, there's a tweet going out where someone asked, "Is this coming to PS4?" And they said, "No plans now, but never say never." So
Okay, some hope.
Yeah, could maybe in a year or so we'll see that. Throughout that game reel, see that's what I wanted to see more of. All these new games,
Yes.
not known properties, and I wish they spent more time in that. We saw a little bit of footage from Stardew Valley, and that's
Yeah,
coming
that's
to both consoles
That's
as well.
fun.
I wish that was coming out to handhelds, but I know it's a lot more work to put that on
Oh, yeah,
handhelds.
that is the perfect Vita game.
Yeah, because it's just pause that, pop it in, do some farming.
What about Dead Rising 4? That looked like a lot of fun. That trailer was a lot of fun.
It was. It was. Now, the last Dead Rising came out, I guess, right at the beginning of Xbox. That was one of the launch games, or at least in the first window. I've never played a Dead Rising game.
I played the first one on 360, and it's just so goofy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I
so
guess with more power, they can have bigger zombie mobs and more crap going on.
I know you're not a huge fighting game fan, but we did get a little look at Tekken 7,
Yeah,
and the Japanese rep, that I forget the guy's name, that came out in that robe and the
that was
sunglasses.
that was
That was
pretty
a lot of
cool.
fun. I don't know how I feel about the game so far. They were showing, like, obviously snippets from the story mode, and it's cool that it was a very seamless transition from
Yeah,
narrative straight into a
cool,
battle.
but like unnecessary.
Yeah, the thing I wasn't, and that's whatever, like, who plays a fighting game for the story mode. But the actual fighting looked a lot slower paced than I'm used to watching Tekken gameplay, and there was also
Yeah,
like every now and then there'd be like a quick time event where it would be random button press combinations, and that does not belong in a fighting game. I have no idea what that
no,
was. Hopefully that's just for the story mode. I can't imagine that
yeah,
would have any part of the competitive side.
either story mode or giving it's like a hint. If you're new to fighting games, this is what you should be pressing there. But yeah, that's you don't want to leave that up to chance. It makes it look incredibly casual, really.
Yeah,
When
it was definitely, it wasn't any kind of hint. It was part of the story. Like, it would the fighting would, I guess, once the health got down to a certain point, it would trigger
right,
this QTE, and you had to do these certain button combination. I guess that's okay. I guess that's about the same as just cutting to a cutscene, just with a it's slightly more interactive with some button presses. But I don't know. It made me. It's kind of fishy. It didn't make me feel very good.
they're trying to include other people, and fighting games are about excluding anyone who doesn't want to become incredibly hardcore
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, I thought it just looked if it looked more like Tekken 2 or Tekken 1 in terms of how it moved. It moved slower and it had the same sort of Tekken impact sounds of old. I really wasn't too impressed with it at all.
If anybody's watching, any of our viewers, if you're playing on Xbox One, they did mention in celebration of Tekken 7 that they are making Tekken Tag Tournament 2 free on Xbox Live
Hmm.
via backwards compatibility. So that's cool. That's one of the best and most fun Tekken games that has come out ever. I mean, that's one of the best Tekken games out there. So that's worth downloading for free if you don't have it already.
That those always got the biggest cheers. Anytime you pre-ordered something or anything was available free that was old, people were all over that stuff.
Right.
A Limbo dev had a new game.
Yeah.
Very,
Inside.
very not showing much at all. The guy that came out after, who was in charge of the ID, said it was one of the best games ever.
He called it a masterpiece.
Yeah, and I believe it. Limbo was a fantastic game.
And Limbo is also free right now on Xbox Live if you didn't get to play
Woo!
that.
Yeah, I'd love to see more about Inside. It's coming out June 29th.
Yeah, really soon. That's why I was like, are you really going to call this a masterpiece with millions of people watching? That's some extreme hyperbole that you're going to get called out on really
Yeah.
soon, or this game is going to be very amazing. It is very strange that it's coming out so soon and they showed almost nothing.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the game is so reliant on the surprise or the
Hmm.
narrative or the mystery of it that
Hmm.
showing anything would be wrong. And I hope that that was just a really ballsy, intelligent choice.
Yeah.
But very ballsy to come out. When you make grand promises at E3, don't make sure the game's not coming out for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, oh right, Scalebound, of course.
Mm-hmm.
For a platinum game, pretty a lot more slower pace than a regular platinum game that we're used to seeing. Seem more like an MMO. It was
Well, they showed a boss battle. They showed a really big boss battle, and it was a
yeah,
co-op boss battle. So obviously it was one enemy the whole time, and it was a huge enemy. So there's only so much you can really do there. It looked fun. It was like very rock and roll, and I think they're trying to bring in a lot of attitude with this game.
yeah,
The one thing that really irked me, I have this like OCD compulsion to like, it bugs me when devs and stuff come out for demos and they play their games poorly, and it was bugging me that they worked on this huge crab thing, and they finally exposed this glowing pink pulsating like weak spot core,
yeah.
and the main character just kept shooting arrows like at the
At the
front
shield,
shell.
yeah, right
I was
below it.
like, I was seriously like rocking in my chair. Like it was really, really rubbing me the wrong way. But that wrapped up, and I think the game's gonna be really fun. That's I may have mentioned to you that actually I was really disappointed we didn't see Cuphead. I was hoping for some
They showed a
hands-on with
little
that.
bit of it, yeah, but nothing
Yeah,
too
some
much.
clips. But Cuphead and Scalebound are the two games that had me thinking about an Xbox One S. I was thinking if they come out with a slim model and it's priced right, I really want to get into Scalebound and Cuphead. So I'm still impressed with Scalebound. It's something I'm looking forward to. But what about the Final Fantasy 15
That's
battle
right.
demo?
What
I
was that
was
doing there?
I was not impressed. Talk about people playing the demo poorly. That was very underwhelming.
Yeah, I was really excited to see more combat. I'm like, all right, here we go, because this is what hasn't really sold me on the game so far.
Yep.
There was a bit of teleporting through the big hand coming down.
Yeah, that
But
was
yeah,
him holding the dodge button and just kind of zipping to the other side of it
it wasn't
8
the
or 9
timing
times.
thing.
Huh?
It wasn't just pure timing.
No, that was it was that same little blue teleport. He did warp a couple times, but that's more
Right.
of an offensive thing. He was sitting there. You can see when he goes into dodge mode, he kind of gets this kind of juking,
Okay.
this kind of like free stance, and then when an enemy strikes at you, you get that kind of blue warp shadow that kind of twinkles as you move around. But they built it up as like you're fighting this huge titan and it's you and your buddies, and as you're fighting, this army invades and it has this whole nother layer and there's so much going on, and I thought, oh my god, this is going to be crazy. And it was so blah. It was
Yeah. It
He
was
just ran around and waited for heals and did a lot of dodging. Every now and then he would just kind of whack at a hand, and then all of a sudden they all threw a bunch of blizzard materia at the thing and it was done. I couldn't believe it was over when it was over. Do you know, does Square Enix have their own separate show coming up?
They don't.
They don't have their own separate conference?
I don't. Not on the main schedule that I've seen.
Yeah, I thought maybe they were saving something for that, and that's why the demo was so
No,
short.
because what happened last year, I think they just did it at Sony's conference, right?
I don't know.
Sony's.
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah, that's
this.
right. For the FF7 remake, yeah, that was at Sony.
Yep, that was pretty underwhelming. Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I'll still be excited to give it a try. I'm glad that they're trying something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty lame demo. Seeing Hajime Tabata was really the highlight of that.
Yeah. Always says he looked tired.
Yeah, but he's got a charisma to him. He's the guy that has some great quotes about games shortening his life.
Yeah.
And working on them, and how it'd be a great honor to have it shorten his life. He's looking forward to it, and it's all worth it. So yeah, it looked like it. All right, well, that was Microsoft at E3. Next up, we will be talking about Ubisoft and Aisha Tyler. So stay tuned.